Good morning, everybody. This is Joanna from Universal Unity. Actually, it's afternoon, so thank you for joining me. We are in our new location in Calgary, southwest of Calgary, so we're pretty excited. Just finished getting everything all unpacked today, so it's been a bit of a hairy week, but exciting nonetheless to get in this new energy and new vibration. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to talk about grounding, meditation, various types of tools that people use to allow themselves greater access to their multidimensional energy, multidimensional aspects, and allow the flowing of the changing of the seasons, full moons, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, all of these energies and all of these wonderful things that are streaming to us. We can experience them in a smoother manner when we are preparing ourselves. Our physical body is going through a lot right now as far as the ascension energies, and to allow our bodies to process the more refined streams does require preparation. I've been working on this path for about 7 years, and I started meditating just over 7 years ago, just about 8 years now. And without meditation, I'm not sure I could have got where I am right now. And as far as gaining clarity for all that I desire to want to know, I'd love to know as much as I can so that I can bring forth the information and teach it. So to have that more clear path of communication from the higher self to the physical mind, to our physical bodies, because remember, we have many aspects to who we are. And so there needs to be some. Did I start that? There we go. Hi, good afternoon. This is Joanna from Universal Unity. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to talk today about the power of grounding, fifth dimensional energy, meditation, visualization works really well. These are some tools that people use to allow ourselves to connect with our higher dimensional aspects, our multidimensional aspects. The more grounded you are, the more clear and defined you are about those paths of communication, those types of communication, the more understanding that you'll have as we walk this path of accelerated energies. So, and it's really, really important. I'm always reminded with the reverence and the humility that we walk this path with. We're so powerful in how we create our lives, in the energy that we emit, and the energy that brings to us everything that we send out, as well as the universal energies that are already out there, our interstellar galactic friends and families that are also assisting us in this journey. And the more that we use these tools in a holistic manner, in an illuminated manner, where we're using it for the benefit of expanding who we are and connecting with the universal energies as one, then we can have those clear paths of communication and understand tumultuous times of energy, which is what's going on right now in October. We're moving in with the fall equinox, and the fall equinox is, in very ancient times, in mystery schools, and how it was taught this particular time of year, because the dark of the sun is less as far as the time it's in the sky, is creating more depth for us to go inward, to look at the darker aspects of who we are, to heal who we are and bring those forward and bring it to light. And then we have that time period between fall, September to April, for all of those months to go within and bring the deep-seated beliefs up that have been held down and maybe combined with fear and doubt. Allowing ourselves to heal and bring to light all of those beautiful aspects, even though we might believe or think they're dark, but allowing them to be a part of us, to give it the honor it's required and heal, and to bring light to it. Because remember, there is only one energy, and it is only the God source energy, the creator energy. It's the beliefs that we attach to those incarnations. And we're dealing a lot with the reincarnational traumas right now. especially if you're very sensitive and intuitive or empathic. A lot of things that you're feeling right now and you're not understanding why you're feeling them, a lot of them could be alternate lives and the traumas that we're dealing with to heal, so that we can fully move into the fifth dimensional energy with a clear slate and understanding that there is no reason to fear anymore. Persecutions or even death, confinement, all of those things that would have helped us kind of hide who we were in many past lives, or we say past lives, but they're all concurrent. And this is why, as we open up our energetic understanding, we become more connected with all of those other lives. So remember that there is only here and now, and we do have access to all of those lives right here and now. And the more we're opening up and sensitive to it, we have access to all of those lives. So at any given moment, depending on what state of mind I'm in, and if I'm relaxed and if I'm in the allowance stage, I can get feedbacks from different time periods, and they could all be happening right here and now. And it's because the energy that I'm emitting right now is connecting with that energy. So, for me particularly, I'm working on the persecution side of things. So, how to heal who I was in many, many lives, as a speaker, as a healer, as an energetic, passionate person who walked, the planet and tried to enlighten and bring light. And in a lot of those time periods and a lot of those lifetimes, there was persecution and there was confinement, because the masses of the people didn't quite understand the level of light that some people bring forward. And so they were condemned, and they were, charged and challenged and confined, and, all of these things that we have dealt with in previous lives are now coming to the forefront for us to deal with once and for all. Because remember, we're a collective consciousness. We are a body of one. So as the body of one moves up in its energetic vibrations, all of these things need to be healed for the other things to take place, for the other things to allow us to unfold within in a beautiful way. And so that we're at a light vibrancy field. We're not carrying any of those traumas with us. We have the freedom to speak our voice. We have the freedom to say who we are. We have the freedom to speak our truth and in full authenticity. So the next show will be about authenticity and healing those past traumas, which will be on Blog Talk today at 3:30. And so feel free to tune in on Saturdays. I usually do free channeling or free channels, and obviously the information is channeled as we come through this new location. So Saturdays is my teaching day. That's when I give whatever I've learned to the public for free, obviously, and in hopes that those who are feeling similar things or going through similar things, not to feel like they're hidden in a box, not to feel like they're the only ones moving through these things, because certainly you're not. There's more and more of us that are coming forward to speak and live our passion, to speak and live our truth, and it feels wonderful that we can all connect in a similar way and bring forth the energies that truly heal the planet. As we walk forward, we emit those beautiful, loving, compassionate, benevolent energies, and they flow right back to Gaia. And then Gaia in return heals us and grounds us and soothes us in those traumas that we are healing. So there is much work to be done between now and April when we hit the spring equinox. So there's a few months here that we have to work on these things. And it's beneficial to bring all of these things up. So as you're moving through your day, to touch point with how you're feeling about things, or if something is triggered within you, understanding why and asking your questions to yourself. Why is it that I'm being triggered by this? And the more you do that in a balanced state, remember your breathing and grounding, then the information has free flowing abilities to get to you. If you're in a flustered and congested state, the energy doesn't get to you. Or if there's such a cacophony of sound, then the energy doesn't get to you. It might get choppy in bits and pieces because we're constantly being sent energy, especially now. It's at its highest peak right now. And those of us that are sensitive sometimes feel that overwhelmed state where, you just really have to shut yourself down and, go into, a really quiet place and allow it to be processed. So the way to do this and allow it to happen in a smooth manner and not feel the migraines and the tensions and the aches, for me, it's a lot of jaw pain because of the past life issues that I'm working with. and allowing them to be healed and move forward. A lot of jaw pain and migraines. And it's allowing the energies to flow through fluidly and not clog them down with any other thoughts of worry or concern or doubt or fear. Really, the more you let that stuff go, the more the energy can move through the body. Because what's happening right now is our physical bodies are being prepared for the fifth dimensional energy vibrations as Gaia moves up to her fifth dimensional footing. We've talked about that in many shows. So check out my blog too, because a lot of the information I'm talking about has already been written about. So if you feel somewhat lost as to what's going on with the Earth, what's going on with Gaia, the planetary ascension, and how all of these things take place, feel free to log on to universalunity.ca and look at the blogs. And there's over, I think, 100 or something there. But and really take your time to read through them, because it'll allow all of these things to click for you. And the more you understand, the more easier it is to move through these energies, for sure. This is the most intense time I've ever felt. And it's been quite a challenge, but it's been an exciting challenge. But nonetheless, there's just so much coming in, and really having to slow the pace down and really bring in that silence so that your body can process it. Your body and your emotional side and your psychic side can really process what we're moving to. And to do that, grounding is very powerful. We are one consciousness with Gaia. So the more that our bodies can ground within the center core of Gaia, that healing reciprocal energy can be flowing and free flowing, so that whatever we're feeling can be a cyclical pattern. And we're breathing in the white light of universal love and divine goodness and God, then it can be freed through the Gaia and then up through us again. And so breathing that constant, so cyclical pattern of breath is very powerful. And so we bring in the life of breath, and then we breathe out the stress and the release of the energies that even subconsciously you don't know you're working with. But if there's any pains in your body anywhere, usually in the chakra centers, you would feel these things in the ascension period, what we're moving through right now. And these things can be healed within seconds, seriously. I've been having these jaw pains just because of the work that I've done in other incarnations about being a public speaker and being, a spiritual, speaker, a path walker. So there's a lot of those energies going on in this area. So as we heal them, the energy really needs to move. So that's a lot of breath work, taking in divine white light, which is our source energy, and releasing anything that doesn't fit with us, is no longer needed, no longer required. So it's a lot of breath work. And what I find this does too is it also allows us to create a more substantiated divine feminine energy. Because as we're breathing in the divine light source of all that is, we are in essence allowing ourselves to soften, to be vulnerable, to allow the energies to flow, and to create that space of compassion. Because as we release the worry and the doubt and the fear and all of those things that have pained us for so very long, we allow ourselves to be more of our natural spirit essence, which is a balance of both male and female energies. And so check out our website as well, because I'm going to be creating some classes to better understand what the divine feminine is. Sometimes there's understandings out there which aren't necessarily wrong. They're just certain people's understandings of what the divine feminine is, and it's meant of many things. There's a combination of many things that are in these energies. But for universally speaking, and as we're talking about ascension in particular, the divine feminine is about bringing into balance all of those energies and to allow our energies to match Gaia, who is going through a rebirth right now, and to bring our own divine feminine out. And you don't have to be a female to do this. You can be a male, because we've all spent lives in male bodies. We've all spent lives in female bodies, so that we can understand as a soul, as a higher, greater soul, those learning lessons, those life lessons within those bodies of those particular, genetics, if you will. Because with each time period, with each incarnation, we're moving through different pieces of lessons for both the male and the female. And these times of ascension is about that balance. It's about letting go all of the pains for both the female and the male that we've had in all of these incarnations, and allowing it to be at a balanced state where we can nurture each side equally. We can bring forth each side equally when we can be that powerful, domineering in some respects, in some aspects, and also have, when we're being in that clear state of presence, in that male energy presence, that caretaker presence, but to also have the softer nurturing side where we're moving forward with compassion and empathy and nurturance, and our hearts are fully out, but we walk with clarity and profoundness as well. And that's the divine feminine. It's the balance of both of those energies where we don't need to have that tug of war. We don't need to have that them versus us, which I think is a misunderstanding that's gone on for a long time. And that's not what it's about. It's about ascending so that all is inclusive, so that all is accepting and all is beautiful and wonderful. And we've chosen certain lives so that we can play out those roles. We've all been the domineer. We've all been the passive. We've all been the aggressive. We've all been all of these roles that we've wanted to explore. We've had these roles. And if you're finding certain themes keep coming up and keep coming up, it's because those lessons are probably dominant for you. You've had many, many lifetimes at the opposite end, and so now it's time to learn what it's like to be on the other end of the stick, as it will. And so we move through these processes as physical beings. And it's very powerful. And this is why I've always said we are this profound, to be moving through this type of ascension at this accelerated pace, which has never been seen before. Getting so much help from other beings around the galaxies and around the universe and the multiverse, and whatever we're learning and expanding to as a whole, it's going right back out to the universe to nurture, to educate, to inform, to expand all of these wonderful things, that who we are as an individual and who we are as a species, the illuminated galactic human, which is what I feel we're moving towards. It might be a couple generations, but I'm definitely feeling the illuminated aspect of what my body is actually moving to. It's getting less and less, heavy or stuck, if you will, in that solid state. And so the more we expand in that mind aspect, in that energetic aspect, the more we can be fluid and moving back and forth between the different incarnations to learn the lessons that we live, or pick and pull from the future. We call it our future, but again, it's still concurrent. And we have better understanding of that. And so meditation helps greatly in that, especially to bring the sense of peace and silence, because we all know our world, I mean, I've said it over and over, there's such a cacophony of sound and noise. It doesn't matter where you go, it's just noisy. And then there's texting and people have their constant headphones plugged in and music, and which isn't bad. There's a time and a place for everything, but when we're going such dramatic energy streams like we are now, we really need to focus on grounding. So our physical bodies and our energetic bodies are really grounding into the center of Gaia for that healing reciprocation of energy. Doing the deep breathing as often as you can throughout the day, not just in the morning or at night, throughout the day. If you're feeling yourself really sensitive and kind of scattered, the more you ground and the more you do your deep breathing, the better you're going to feel. The more energy you're going to have forward to move from task to task, over the next couple of months. Because like I said, it is the highest that it's ever been. And that can mean that people will not understand what they're going through, not understand what's going on because things just aren't making sense, or they're coming really fast, or there's a lot of scattered energy right now. Which creates, accidents, like auto accidents and all that kind of thing. So it's really important to make sure you're grounded, really make sure you're understanding your own energy body, what's hurting, what's not hurting, what's flowing, what's not flowing, and get back to the beliefs and what you feel is going on there. And you can tap into other lifetimes by doing that as well. You remember I said the more you're opening up, the more these channels will come through to you and allow that opening communication to begin with your spirit guides, with other ET aspects that are always with us. And sometimes when we're going through lessons as well, this time right now is very big in the healing of traumas. Sometimes our intergalactic friends will take a step back I know I was seeing many UFO sightings and things like that around the spring to summer. And then as soon as we hit the fall, it's just kind of disappeared. And so that's what we're moving into. We're moving into things that are just changing. Moment for moment, it's just changing. When you're hitting a time of great learning and great lessons, they'll back off because we need to focus on the task at hand, which is moving through this powerful time right now. And so once that lesson has been learned, then they'll step back in again. Because we've dealt with what we've had to deal with, we can move forward, and it's always progressive. It's always progressive. So that's what ascension is. There's step by step, and I've said this many times in my writings as well. Allowing us to prepare and then take it on, prepare and then take it on, prepare and then take it on. And that's how we move forward as a species. We're all helping each other chunk by chunk, little by little, step by step, moving up this ascension ladder to a more holistic way of living. Our food will be more holistic. The way we practice medicine will be more holistic. The education system will be more holistic. It'll be more free flowing and less rigid. All of these things are going to be changing within the next couple of decades. So this is what we're preparing for. We're preparing for our bodies, our species, to become lighter in essence. And to do that, we're looking at all of these factors meshing in and jostling to try and have that stable ground. So that means your emotional body, your physical body, your sociological body, the sociological systems within our greater good, the economic systems within the greater good. All of these things will be changing because our energies will be changing. We'll be desiring more. We'll be desiring higher ideals from our politicians. We'll be desiring higher community services, and so all of these things are changing in these wonderful energies in these wonderful ascending times. So my love and blessings to you all, as always. My book will be coming out. I've got 2 books on the go right now, and they will hopefully be done by around December 11th. Around there. I'm hoping just before Christmas. So feel free to stay tuned with the website http://universalunity.ca and check out the book section. There's also a Divine Feminine page that's up right now, and you can just email me if you're interested in these private classes. I do my classes privately because I like to work around people's schedules as well as my own. I'm very, very busy right now, so I like to pick certain times to assist people in any way that I can. Coaching and guiding and private readings and so on, and public speaking. So this is where I like to do the private method that way. We've done classes online for everybody, but it was really hard to get the numbers at specific times because there's 30 people that have different schedules. So we're doing it more private sessions now. So feel free to log on there, and the prices are very, very reasonable because I throw a lot of stuff in on 1 hour. I do numbers, I do channeled stuff, so I throw so much in, so it's not like an hour really goes by quickly. So feel free to do that as well. And then also our first sacred site trip, which I talk about all the time. I'm super, super excited, and I'm thinking because this is the spring, this is my I have a feeling that we're going to have some beautiful, wonderful energies also with us, because remember, the energies are always with us. Even though we may think that we're sitting in an empty room by ourselves, we're certainly not. Our guides are with us. They're always connecting with us. Ask them for validation, ask them for communication, and really ensure that you're grounded and in openness and allowance to receive the energies and gifts that the universe is always sending to you. And it's really brilliant to get on top of these wonderful miracles that occur every day when you're aware of it and you're not so bogged down with all the noise. Because really they do come, they're very subtle, and sometimes these little gifts of synchronicity really could be missed if you're not awake and tuned in. So I know because I was tuned out for so long. So that's why I can say these things with confidence and with clarity, because I've been there, done that. So this is why I choose to teach. So our sacred trip, yeah, so April of 2015. So loving it. It's the month of my birthday, the week of my birthday, actually. So there's going to be some pretty amazing things, and we're going to be in Sedona, the Vortex. So really looking forward to that. Sign up. There's a section on the website there for sacred site information. So I'd love for you to join us and get all up in this energy, because it's really wonderful and tremendous. So Sending all of my love and light out to you. We've got a live radio show at 3:30 today, so feel free to join us at 3:30. Blog Talk Radio, Ascension Talk Radio, and you can turn it into a podcast if you want, saving it to your iTunes, which is what I do. Not for my own stuff because I listen to myself all the time, but the people that I follow and the people that I love to get inspired by. So I always turn them into podcasts and listen to them over and over to allow myself to stay in that energy, that heightened fifth dimensional vibrational energy. And know that you're truly profound. Know that you have all of these gifts and wonderful intuitive gifts and skills and psychic skills within you. And you are always connected with universal energy. You're always connected with the divine. You never have been not connected. And the awakening, the remembrance of who we are, is to tap into just that, the profundity of our own essence as a spirit. And we're becoming enlightened and illuminated just within that remembrance. So the more you tell yourself that you are spirit essence, the more you tell yourself that you are illuminated, affirm to yourself daily, visualize it to yourself daily, and so your life will be. As you think, as you create, as you talk, speak, and walk, and so it will be. So my love and blessings to you always. Feel free to connect with us on universalunity.ca. I'm on all the social networks, Twitter, Facebook, and Google. So look me up and we will definitely stay connected. As always, dear lighted ones. Goodbye.